Hi, welcome back to another Inside Lansing, and I'm here with Building Commissioner Zoran Savic. Zoran, thanks for being here today.
I'm glad to be here.
So let's start talking about the Building Commissioner. I'm sure a lot of people probably wonder what is that role like? What does that role entail?
Well, I mean, I've had the opportunity to find out a lot about our residents in the last year. To be honest with you, I've been able to wear quite a few different hats with different colors. So I've enjoyed this and had the opportunity to meet a lot of our residents up close and personal, stopping by their homes, speaking to them. Entails quite a bit, but I think the most important thing and my concerns are the safety, life and safety of our residents in Lansing.
So you look through homes and do inspections and such?
Absolutely. I've done that as electrical inspector. I've continued to do that as the electrical inspector now, as well as the building commissioner, working side by side with all of our other inspectors, such as our plumbing inspector, our health inspector, our building inspector, all of our code enforcement officers. So I've been able to work really well with them this year. Really pleased.
You oversee like quite a few different roles below you, like you said, health inspector, plumbing, and what is it like working with those people? Is it like you work as a team, or is it just go out and do your thing?
I mean, they all have scheduled appointments to go out, and we're really good about being efficient and getting out there within 24 hours of when we have a contractor or a home owner that calls in to have those inspections done. So we get out within that 24 hours the next day. I go out with a lot of our inspectors, as I have in the past, to where we do those inspections together. That way we also overlook one another's work. I'm honored to be able to overlook all of our other inspectors, such as our ordinances and so on, to assure that life safety is job one in Lansing. We make sure that everyone is safe in their homes.
So we're definitely on the side of trying to help people in Lansing, help residents be safe in their homes. But what other services can residents use from the building department?
The inspection portion of our building department is what we do, working along with our police department, our fire department, our wonderful Madam Mayor Patty Item, Dan Pardorsky, our administrator, along with all of our trustees, Vivian Payne, our village clerk, and not to mention the water department, our building department. Public Works has been a big service. We're working really well together. I think we're a really well-oiled machine. I think we really work well together.
And say maybe a resident comes to you and they want to get a building permit to add an addition to their house, or
absolutely,
will do some work. How would they go about that?
Well, there are several ways. One of the ways is we have a lot of the information that's online. It's available on our village website. You could go right on our village website, scroll down to permitting, pull up all the applications, be able to then fill all that out, submit it to our building department. Many of the contractors and homeowners come in, fill out the paperwork right at our front counter, submit that over to our girls there, answer any questions that they may have. So it's a very easy process, and usually within the 24 hours the next day, we're able to get them permits. So some villages take a week, others I've dealt with take a month, but we're very efficient and we get it done within that 24 hours.
That sounds like a great service that people.
Absolutely.
And so, of course, I'm going to ask you the other question people always probably ask you: why do we need building permits?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why do they need them?
So we it's back to life and safety. I mean, our job, much like the fire department, the police department. I mean, we're there to assure that the homes that our residents live in are safe, and that the contractors that are performing that work are licensed, bonded, insured. They have all the proper permits, so that we would be able to come out and do those inspections, assuring that the work they have performed has been done correctly. So I think that's very important. I think that a lot of our residents overlook that part of it. They have a contractor. Contractor assures them that he's a licensed contractor. He has all of his paperwork in place. Then ends up not getting a permit. Performs the work, we never do the inspections, and then it turns out that later they begin to have problems. So
it's really for their safety and for their investment.
Absolutely,
to protect
absolutely,
it.
Yes, absolutely. So I urge all of our residents in Lansing to make sure that all of their contractors, and by all means, call our offices. We have a list of contractors. We're always able to again, check and make sure that those contractors are registered and they do receive a permit before starting that work, and that it is in the window.
Now, talking about safety and stuff, let's talk about your health inspectors. What is their job like? What do they look over?
So our health inspector goes out and he overlooks all of our restaurants, assuring that all of the food that we do consume in Lansing is safe, that all of the temperatures are proper in terms of it being cooled, that then it being heated to a proper temperature, and if it's ever reheated, that it's reheated to the proper temperatures. That all of our restaurants and all the preparation tables are sanitized properly, all the equipment is washed. Obviously, that they have hand sinks and soap and hand towels in order to assure that none of our residents get sick. And I think knock on wood, we've done very good over the years in all aspects of inspections. We can't take all the credit in my department. I think that it goes back to many years of having great inspectors, great building commissioners that assured at that time that the work that was performed then has done a lot of good. We're safe. We have just a few fires a year, and I was really shocked to hear. I see the fire department always roaring down the street with lights and sirens, and I always assumed that they were going to fires. That I then come to find out that most of them are paramedic calls that they're responding to. And so, whenever I see a firefighter at a fire, fighting a fire, I said, God bless those, firefighters. And then when I hear that we've only had a couple minor fires, one due to, a candle, another was a car fire due to the engine, another one was some faulty equipment inside of a garage, nothing pertaining to the inspections that we perform. I say God bless our inspectors for preventing those fires,
That's right.
So it's a wonderful thing. I've enjoyed this year. I look forward to the upcoming year. So
Talking about that, moving right into the question I was just about to ask.
Okay.
You had your first year, and now you're moving into your second. What are you looking forward to in this next year as building commissioner?
Well, I think I'd like to. So many of the homes have been rehabbed over the years by contractors and investors. There are a lot of other nuisances, homes that have been boarded up. So our village is now looking into stepping up and rehabbing those homes that the village, may own or may be able to acquire in the very near future, and be able to, at that point, rehab those homes and then sell them at the top market value, raising then our values of all of our other homes. And I'd like to rid Lansing of boarded up homes and nuisances and abandoned homes that have been lingering. We've also been fortunate to, get a grant to have funding available for the demolition of some of those homes, because some of those homes just can't be rehabbed.
Right.
They've deteriorated to the point where, at this point, they're
Just
demo
gotta knock 'em
material.
down.
And then that'll open up new doors for new development, new investors to step up, building again new homes. So I look forward to that. I'd also like to see a lot of our neighbors. A lot of my calls, complaints come in with neighbors, calling about their neighbor in the grass and the leaves that haven't been picked up, or the lawn that hasn't been mowed, or the fact that their sub pump or gutter downspouts are discharging into their home, into their foundation, into their backyard, creating floods. I think that many of these disputes could be easily, I guess I would say, solved if the neighbors would talk back. Instead of doing that, they called my department. Of course, I'm here for them. I think that other neighbors get offended really quickly and say, hey, why did you have to call the building or the police, or the building department, to have the building commissioner come out here and talk to me about the light? Had you just, and I think it creates a much
of a
bigger
community.
problem.
Yeah.
As opposed to just saying, hey, neighbor, stop by for some coffee later today. We're going to have barbecue, tomorrow. Would you run by? I kind of wanted to talk to you. Say, hey, neighbor, would you mind, seeing what you could do about that flood? Like, can we turn it around a little bit? So I think that I like to see neighbors, again, sitting on porches, as they did, when we were children, and kind of, and I think Fox Point will bring people together. I think that's a great thing, where people could say hello. So I miss that, growing up, that's how it was in my neighborhood. I like to bring that to Lansing. I like to see neighbors mingling, talking, spending time with one another, and so on. So
Probably. And talking about, disputes and stuff like that, ordinances, citations, and all that. If people maybe have a citation or they want to find out more about ordinances, how can they go about that?
Sure. Well, we're always looking for compliance. We have our ordinances in place, along with all of our building codes, electrical codes, and so on and so forth. Just like we have rules of the road, they're there for our safety. So I ask that, they simply comply. And we take no pleasure in writing tickets or, taking any of our residents to court. It's that we just can't allow it to become a nuisance or a problem to where it's affecting, their safety, other people's safety, or a nuisance to any of our neighbors. So, yeah, I look forward to, bringing our neighbors, closer together and working with them to, to help them any way that I can.
Building Commissioner Zoran Savic, just want to say thank you. One more question. Why do you feel it's important that we have a building department?
Well, as I stated, it's for the life and safety issues. Many other countries aren't fortunate to have the codes, rules, regulations, ordinances that we have. I've been on different resorts around our wonderful world, and I've noticed so many hazards and questioned whether people were injured, and they said, yeah, absolutely, but they kind of say they should have been more careful, and in all honesty, it's the inspections, as I stated earlier, that keep us safe. It's going out and assuring that the contractors that are performing that work are doing it correctly, that the homes we live in, the restaurants we eat in, are safe. The visitors that come in from the outside to visit Lansing, stay at our hotels, shop at our malls, in our stores, and so on and so forth, are safe. That our children that go into their friends' homes or our restaurants and other establishments are safe. So the inspection department, I think, as I said, for decades has done a great job. Back before I was even born, when these homes were built, and that is again why we have very few fires, and that those are reasons why we're safe in Lansing. So I continue to enforce those codes and ordinances in order to keep us safe.
Thank you again, Building Commissioner Zoran Savic, for being here.
Absolutely, it was my pleasure.
And thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.